Afternoon Live. Do you sometimes feel like you're going through the motions of your own life? Here with advice to help put you back in the game, we welcome the author of Get Your Spark Back, How to Find Happiness and Reignite Your Life, Rachel Marie Martin. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to chat with you.
Well, I'm excited too. So your previous books were focused more on motherhood and that experience. What made you want to write about this one and kind of open it up to everybody?
It's a great question. I really think the pandemic, those years after, we all kind of had that moment where we were wondering what's next or who am I now? And I'm in that midlife phase of life where all of those questions become more common. And that was the inspiration. Also, I had tons and tons of readers say to me, how do I get my spark back? And as a writer and an author, I listened to what they're asking.
And everybody has their own unique spark, right? Maybe you're not sure of what that is. Do you have to maybe get to know yourself a little bit again to figure out how to get back on the right track?
Yeah, I love that you said that because nobody ever messaged me saying, how do I get a spark? It was always my spark, which is possessive, meaning we each have one. And it really is a lot of getting to know yourself again. And I like to say, wondering about your story, wondering about your soul, wondering about those dreams that so often we kind of put on the shelf. It's time to pull them out again.
Do you have people come to you and just say, I don't even know where to begin? Do you have suggestions for first steps to kind of put yourself in the driver's seat of your own life again?
I do. Well, first of all, I love that question because the question inherently means I want to begin, I want to start. So I tell them you've already started. But the way to really start is to be willing, again, to wonder about what it is that you love in life or where your passions might be.
You started your online community over a decade ago now. You have so many people across the country and all around the world who have followed your story. What would you say to Rachel from 2008 that you're publishing these books and reaching so many people and inspiring them to find their spark again?
I would tell her, I'm so glad you were brave enough to try. In order to be a person that gets to tell how you do something, you have to be willing to be the beginner. You have to be willing to start. And I'm so proud of her from back then because she had that courage and audacity to say, you know what, I'm going to try. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to start.
I know one of your suggestions that you offer to people is embracing imperfection. That is kind of hard for some people. I know I like everything to be in a perfect, pretty box whenever possible, but we just have to realize that's not really how this messy life works sometimes.
That's so true. As also a recovering perfectionist, I write about that because I like things in the neat little boxes, but I really believe joy and opportunity often are just on the other side. In fact, things have to get messy in order to change. And that's why I really encourage women and everyone to embrace that little bit of imperfection in life.
And going through change can be so hard. I know that you are part of a big blended family. It's probably, you've been through so many ups and downs all together, but you come through on the other side and you realize that journey, you become even closer and more bonded together.
You do. In fact, we got married right before the pandemic, and nothing like being quarantined in the same house where you really get to spend that time with people. And that's what life is. It's about establishing those relationships and working together and figuring out who everybody is and what you love.
How do you balance all of that at home with taking care of the kids, making sure that their needs are met, and then the things that you share online are so raw and vulnerable and they help so many people? But do you have to kind of establish healthy boundaries at home? Like, hey guys, we're going to keep this one to ourselves, or hey, I'd really like to share this with my community because I think it could help somebody else.
Well, that's a really important question, and boundaries are critical. And I've said for years that I've tried to write my perspective, my story. In fact, I just the other day messaged my college kid and said, hey, could I use this picture? I'm very respectful of their digital footprint and those boundaries of knowing that and really writing about the perspective of what I'm going through has helped with that.
That's so great. I think even just asking the question, a lot of times kids just want to be seen and heard and acknowledged in their own right too. How do you prioritize? You really talk about advocating for yourself. As a mom of 11 kids total in this beautiful family of yours, how do you prioritize that me time for yourself? That's so tough.
I always tell women or tell moms specifically, if the kids have a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment, sports thing, we put it on the schedule and we don't feel guilty about it. We just do it. And it's the same for us. We have to put our own selves on the schedule, because if we don't, the schedule will just keep going, and we shouldn't feel guilt about it. That's the time when we get to fill our cup. And when we're prioritizing me time, we have so much more to give to our families.
What's it like for you since this book has been published, the feedback that you get to hear from viewers who are maybe not moms, maybe they're coming to your community for the first time because they're connecting to this idea of finding that spark again? It must be so rewarding.
The best, it is, and I'm so humbled. And the best thing I hear is, I tried something new. I read what you said about being a beginner, and I went out there and I did something I haven't done for years, and I dealt with the thoughts that made me think I should stop, and it was awesome. And it's so rewarding to hear about people going all in on their lives and really reigniting their own sparks.
I love that. Hey, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. It was so great chatting with you.
I really enjoyed it, and thank you.
Thank you. Rachel's book is Get Your Spark Back. We'll have more information on our website at KATU.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this. Okay, nobody wants to think about the upcoming cold and flu season, but our first guest has the perfect way to provide comfort when the bug eventually does hit your family. Here with her recipe for the ultimate